So we're thrilled to have with us both Myrtle Simpson herself, coming to you from Scotland, her home in Scotland, I believe. Is that right, Myrtle?
Yes, yes, that's where I am. North of north of Scotland.
North of
Hang on.
Scotland.
Yeah.
And the filmmaker, Leanne Sides. And Leanne, where are you? In New York City?
Yes, I'm in New York.
Great. Myrtle, had no one ever approached you about making this kind of, doing this kind of project on your life before?
Well, not like that. No. But I'd often thought about my husband has spent a lot of time in the Antarctic. He went down to work on behalf of the British government as the medic, the doctor for the British Survey huts people.
Mm-hmm.
And other people had very cheap cameras that they took. He actually spent all his money and took a top camera. So his pictures of the Antarctic are very special.
Mm-hmm.
And I often thought, my goodness, we should show Hughes, we should have an exhibition or something like that, because he at the moment is in a care home, but we never actually did it. So this sounded to me that perhaps this would sort of fill that gap. But no, I never thought for 1 minute that I'd get personally involved in a film.
And the photos,
Well, I think, nowadays explorers have got to go to the moon. I've never, it was just perfectly normal sort of weekend in the hills type, the start of all our various journeys. I was rather lucky, I suppose, that my father was in the army. And at that time, this was before the war, he was actually stationed in India.
Mm.
And in those days, the British Army and everyone else went up to the mountains for the summer. So I knew about snow and steep slopes and all that sort of stuff. And then the war started, so we got all mixed up with that and spent a lot of time in the hills.
What is it about the hills that just attracted you so much? Why the hills?
Oh, well, if you've been to the hills, you don't need to ask me that question. I think anybody that's spent time in the hills, they always want to see what's over the top, what's down the next valley. It's always different. It's exciting. Your wind blows in your hair, and it's just a sort of background where you can be yourself. Sort of thing. I've just had a big birthday, and all the children, my own children and their children were all there. And we spent most of the time canoeing on the loch that's near us, picnicking, barbecuing, and just doing the sort of thing that we all makes my family alive, I think. But they do the very same sort of things. But they were all, when in the 1960s, skiing had really just come to Scotland, and we were very involved because of where we lived and one thing and another. And it was the beginning of conservation, and conservationists didn't like ski lifts and things. And I used to say, but we're putting children's voices back on the hills. Every child loves learning to ski. I don't know a child that doesn't like zooming down as fast as they can, and that's real life. And I think kids love that, and that's the sort of thing we did. But I'm interested, you said to start with that he was a good skier, because polar explorers don't need to be good skiers. They need to have different sort of qualities. They're not going to be Olympic team members. They've got to be prepared to plod on and up and put wax on your skis and your head down and just keep going. Masters races.
Oh.
I've competed in the masters races because it's you go in 10-year slots, so you only compete among your own age group. But at the minute, I've been beaten by a man of 100. He's got the cup, not me.
Wow.
It's not all doom and gloom, because you can now, a lot of the world that was quite unreachable because of the ice, like that enormous long Russian coastline, now you can actually canoe to. And I would love to be young at the moment, put my canoe into the water and paddle east and go along that coastline. for hundreds of years it hasn't been exposed. Plants are growing there, animals and stuff that nobody knows anything about.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, it's a heartbreak. But the Greenlanders, they're not sitting around saying this is disaster, because they have taken on the new way of life, which now means fishing, and of course they've got their dogs aren't as important as a fishing boat, but it's brought a lot of prosperity to the people of the polar north. So don't just sit thinking it's the end of the world. What was the question?
Oh, so the last time you were on ice, actually?
Oh, when was on ice?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I was last in 3 years ago, I think.
Right.
And actually, if it hadn't been for the virus, I would have been there this summer, I hope, because we started a club called the Scottish Arctic Club, so that people could share planes and things like that to get, climbers and kayakers, that sort of thing. And it's now 50 years since then, and so the club was going to have a trip to Greenland this summer.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
However, it's postponed to next year, so I hope I'll be there. Oh, I don't expect anybody to be influenced by me. I took our kids with us on our Greenland trips, well, Arctic trips, because I was far too selfish to stay behind. I wanted to go, so the kids had to come too.
Mm-hmm.
So that was purely for my own self-indulgence. I wasn't flying a flag for anybody, but I have heard so many people saying, "Oh, you're so lucky to take your kids." Well, I'm sure you agree with me that, luck is usually if you're making. There's nothing to stop you taking them if you're aware of the problems. Of course, you've got to think. I once asked, read a letter in National Geographic, how many of their explorers had died in the field, and it's practically none of them. Most explorers die at home in their bed, because they know they want to get home, so they've looked at what the problems are.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yes.
Heavens, I don't think I want to hear Leanne's answer.
Do you want to sign off now, and we'll?
I've seen the bit on the computer. It says exit. I think that, of course, women have fought for the rights for everything, I suppose, as life goes on. And I think perhaps this virus, certainly in Britain, it's made people think hard about family units and things like that.
Right.
But I don't know. I would find the life that many people think is the way to live excruciatingly boring.
Yes.
Thank you. Leanne, I'm looking at. I'm waiting. Oh, hello.
Hello. Hi, Myrtle.
Yes, I'm Myrtle.
Hi, I'm Chris Connor. I'm with the Newburyport Documentary Film Festival.
Right. So have we got this right?
I think, well, you look great. I see you well. I hear you well.
But can you actually
Yes,
see
I
me?
can.
Oh, well, that's okay then, because I can't.
You can't see me?
Oh, I can see you, yes. But half the screen. Wait, there must be something for me to.
Yeah, that would be
the
right.
sound is right, is it? Because I muffed the sound the last time I did something like this.
You sound perfect.
Afternoon, Myrtle.
Hi, Leanne.
Wow, your new computer. What a great camera.
Yeah.
Well,
Looks great.
I don't know. See, Bruce, my second son, said to me for my birthday, I could either have, see, I'm living in a bubble very much by myself because of the virus. He said I could either have a puppy dog or an e-bike or a new computer. Well, I did not want the new computer because I could manage my last one. I did not want the puppy dog because I'm too old, it wouldn't be fair. And I don't want the blinking e-bike, it goes too fast.
Everybody good?
Everybody's
Yes, but
good.
I've only got a little bit of the screen. Should
Well-
I press something? See, I can see the pack ice behind me and our skis and stuff, and I'm sitting here in the middle of it all.
Take my camera off.
Okay.
So that might help a little bit.
Anyway, I don't do anything till somebody asks me a question. Is that right?
Okay.
Dog is very-
We used to breed Scotty dogs.
Yeah.
You know Scotty dogs?
West Highland. Yeah.
No, not West Highland.
Oh, no, I
Scotty
thought you
dogs.
West Highland.
West Highlands are white, whereas
Okay.
Scotty dogs are black.
Are black. Oh, okay. So you read Scottish Terriers. For some reason, I thought you did West Highland
We
Terriers.
paid for my daughter's wedding because we had a litter of 7.